183, where, as I've been saying for the last couple of days, we're going to try and get the nightly streams back on in some capacity. Granted, today was Sunday, which makes it a lot easier because, different work times on a Sunday that aren't achievable other days of the week. But this stream, I'm aiming to sort something that's been bugging me a little bit for the last 2 weeks. Or really for a bit longer than that, to be fair. And as we have been, this is all in the aim of that room tour video, which, sometime in the next few... Hello there. And then sometime in the next 2 weeks, that video will drop. But I'm just going to quickly move a few things here. I end up just having takeout arrive. So I'll be munching on that for the live stream. But something pretty cool happened. So I was watching Brick Rebellion, some of his stuff on Instagram. He he's the place I get a lot of the custom minifigures I use in various series that I do on here. And, well, I saw something in his videos and I really wanted to try it for myself. So, debated on it for the last little while and they have finally arrived. How you doing, Tommy Bricks? And check these. So, I'll be building these. I got 2 of them. I've had something similar to these before. They weren't that great, but here's what we got. So, it's essentially exactly what it looks like. It's these acrylic cases where you can store your minifigures. And I bought 2 of these because I had this thought, right? I'm doing great. So, with these 2, I had a thought, right? Let me explain. So, obviously the Lego, the main bit of it's here and over there, but I do have some Lego and stuff on this shelf. Now, I'm a physical media kind of guy. I do enjoy collecting that kind of stuff. You can see many kind of box sets and stuff here. Now, I have figures that I want to put in cases, but I don't want to put the cases on these shelves. To me, that won't work. But having them on the shelf in front of me means I can still stack these on top of each other because they're designed to do that. As well as I could put movies or games and stuff on top of that because I'm not going to open these much. I've kind of had a set idea on what these are going to get used for. But, yeah. Very excited. So we're building these acrylic display cases first. That's because I'm really looking to ramp it up this week. On Thursday and Friday, I've got a bit of a construction project going on, so I don't know if I'm going to be free to do anything those days. But that's kind of the goal. So here's how this live stream is going to work. I'll build these 2 cases. I've got 2 of them. One of them is going to get used for Lego Star Wars minifigures, stuff that doesn't quite fit with other things. Like, I have a few minifigures that I've not placed on the shelf that I think, they're special collector's versions or stupidly rare things that I feel should be in a case. So, there's that. Do you have an example of things like Chrome Vader or something along the lines of this Smooth Hair Leia here that I have? Just stuff like that. I've also, in this drawer here, got something to put in one of those cases. So, maybe about 4 years ago, maybe a bit longer than that, I had set out, at the time, to buy every Lego Indiana Jones figure in existence. And I think I have like 95% of them. Most of them are in here. You can see yourself. I want those to be in a display case. In my mind, that just makes sense. They're pretty cool, and, Indiana Jones is up there as one of my favourite movie franchises, so there'll be that. What do I think? But how we're going to do it, we'll build the cases, and I'm going to take all the stuff off these shelves, right? So all of this stuff, probably with the exception of those 2 stands, because these 2 stands for these projects, those weigh a ton, but all the movies and stuff, the B-Wing I want to clear up around. This will be the episode where we get all this stuff kind of sorted. So we'll jump, hey there 501st Bricks, we'll jump in, we'll get these acrylic cases built, We'll then remove all the stuff from these with the exception of those stands, because again, these things are bulky and they go right to the back. The B-Wing from 2012, that UCS set, criminally underrated. Brilliant set. But yeah, we'll get started by building these acrylic cases. Because once we get those built, that things will really start to take off. I mean, I was watching one of his Instagram reels and he's showing off like some of the stuff that he does, and I was like, you know what? I see Brick Rebellion's a very kind of inspirational account to watch. So I saw his idea, I was like, I'm doing that. So yeah. Right. So these are the ones from Amazon, basically. Hey, how's it going? But these are really cool cases. I've seen these used. Like I said, we've got 2 of them. Seen these used in some really interesting ways. They're not official Lego ones. The official Lego display cases that you can buy are stupidly expensive, but yeah. And then we've got 2 of these. We're just gonna work on getting these open and built. Luckily, I work in a warehouse, so I got box cutters lying around. Very, very useful. If I had said the word box cutter on a TikTok live stream, I'd already be screwed. Can't say much. We got the base of this. I've had one of these previously, not the same brand. This brand seems to be more reputable. This is your base. You can build it. You can also remove these just if you wanted to have like big figs or, I don't know, a Lego Speed Champions in the case perhaps. Those are ways you could do it. But that is the base of it. And you've got all your components. But I'm looking to stream for a while, no later than 12. Oh, right, these are individually wrapped components. Right. 1. 2. And then you got your 2 long bits and your top bit. So I remember getting one of these years ago, and it took me a long while to build. Oh man, I just wasn't smart enough to do it. Got side piece there, and you know this will be pretty cool, especially those Indiana Jones figures. I used to do. This bit comes unwrapped. This is your top bit. You can see the holes and stuff on which it does it and stuff. Hey, like reflection. And basically the way this will work. Oh, sorry. Lego Indiana Jones figures. Sorry, I lost track. Used to be a series on here. Granted, I made that series move over a long while ago because I got stuck not being able to find certain many. The series was about collecting all the Lego Indiana Jones figures they had made. And truth be told, I got to the point where I was struggling to find a lot. There were certain figures for that I could not find. Like, see a lot of the Temple of Doom minifigures at that point on eBay I could not find. So I put the series on like a hiatus type thing, and it's just never come off. I don't think I'll resume it. See, I started that when there was all the hype around the new movie that Disney did. Greetings. I did the series. I took advantage of the hype. It's kind of taking advantage of the Lego Batman one I'm doing currently by, you know, oh, I hate that noise. By choosing to release it during the whole hype, or start it at least, during all the hype about the new Lego Batman game. Oh, yep, these are not being fun. I have to be very careful with this as well. Oh, I hate that noise that this makes. 1 second. But, yeah, these are essential about... So, I won't be opening these very much, if at all. But, yeah. Well enough, this is the easy part. It's when you want to attach it to this that it becomes difficult. So this is like the main piece of it. Let's see how smoothly this goes. But I found last time I had one of these, it was easy enough just to open up the top to access it once these bits were kind of clamped in place. Or am I just more skilled tonight? Is that in? The only other problem as well with these is, see when you're clicking it down, you can shift the plate. And you may be unlucky enough to the point where you actually cause your display inside to move, but yeah, well, that's one of these cases complete. So if I wanted to open it and say put a minifigure in, will it work as advertised? It does. We open up the top, and I have free reign to put in minifigures. So things like Chrome Darth Vaders, Chrome Stormtroopers, like idiotically rare stuff that I have, Smooth Hair Leias can go in there. Gotta love some fish, eh? Brilliant. Right, so that's one case complete. I'm going to leave this bit off for now, because I'm going to put minifigures on it at some point tonight. Do you know what? That was shockingly painless to do. I'm now slightly worried. Oh my god, this would age badly. If we open up the next one, and it's cracked or something. So I was a little bit paranoid this stuff would arrive ruined, because I've had... in the UK, Amazon delivery drivers don't have a best reputation for delivering stuff perfectly at times. But I think I've roughly already figured out where this will sit, give or take. So, yeah. Let's put in the base. Obviously, these are non-official Lego kind of base plates. See, Lego's display cases, where they are good, they're just not what I'm looking for, specifically in, you know, display options. Is this... You are joking me, right? Is that... Oh, that was so... But you know, with an inch tolerance, that was almost unusable. There is, like, these were not the most pricey ones. You know, they're not, like, I didn't spend too much money on these. I know if I was to spend more money, I'd probably get higher quality, but I wasn't looking to go nuts with money on these. Let's get these open and built. It's great. I'm on a roll tonight getting things done. Yay! And also there's still the whole shelter. I'll look at the stream till like 12 at the latest. Because with the lead up to this room tour, I know it's a subject we talk about a lot. I'm going to be go, get everything done. So expect the streams to be that way. Like, I'm trying to do one every night. Granted, there will be ones that are like 30 minutes long. You know, when you're coming from a long shift, that's about all I can get done. You know, because I've got to shower, eat, and sleep and stuff between these long shifts. So, yeah, Sunday, the business I work in choose to close early, so the Sundays are easier to do. Yeah, right. Let's assemble this. There we go. Get that on there. Like I said, these are going together a lot easier than I remember them, or maybe it's from past experience, or perhaps, and again, these are just better quality. Like, so I suppose see when you're mass manufacturing something like this, there were bound to be a few of errors that you might miss. Maybe I got one with the holes and stuff were just not done properly, or the holes are too wide, because panels on the last ones, they would just pop off. And that's the second one, ready for minifigures. I am actually shocked that we got those built as quick as we did. So, like I said, one's going to have the Indiana Jones stuff in it. One will have, like, certain Star Wars minifigures in it that I would like to kind of keep in a certain way. Hell yeah, nerd alert. It's like the ultimate place if you're a Star Wars or Lego nerd. How you doing? One moment. What? So, obviously they're going to be getting mixed in with this stuff here, which we're going to be taking off and rearranging anyway. Because, like, stuff up the back of here and that does annoy the hell out of me. As there's quite a bit of the stuff in there. So, I have a decent amount of Imperial stuff. I've got an Executor, Superstar Destroyer, a couple TIE Fighters and stuff like that. This is not all of it, but this is what I've chosen to display from it. However, my clone army is quite sizable. I have over 600 clones. They're not all on display, but you can see a majority of the vehicles from the army that I do have. The main project I'm currently working on, right, is this. It's a... For those of you who have played the LEGO Star Wars games, you'll instantly know what I've been busy recreating here with both real and custom-made minifigures. LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga character selection screen in LEGO. It's not done. We do episodes on it every so often. It's all got a lot of spaces and stuff to fill out, but it's an ongoing project. I'm also doing it for the first LEGO Batman game. Some interesting customs I've managed to get for that so far. Gotta say, I love that Clayface. I managed to find someone who is selling now on eBay for a good price. But yeah, I'm finding the best angle for what we're doing. Seeing as we're taking all the stuff off that wall, this is probably the best angle for this. Hey, how's it going? Right, so once I know where I want these cases, right, I will then stop and do the minifigure side of it for them. So one's easy, right? It's getting Lego Indiana Jones in it. So that's one of my favorite themes. Love the movies and I love the video game. So, like I said, you can take these cases and you can stack them. They don't quite connect, I don't think, but I can have them stacked on each other in a way to the point where, like, it would work as a solution, so I'm game to do it. So we're going to start by just removing things that are in places that don't need to be. Because like I said, I'm prepping for the room tour video that I'm planning to do. And certain things are just in places that maybe just don't quite work for me. Ah, nearly fell there. Don't know how, but I nearly did. So these miscellaneous builds that I have here. For example, these need to go somewhere, so they're going to currently go up here. It's not the ideal solution, but I've got things like Monsters, I've got this like Royal Guard thing over here. Stuff like that will need to move, obviously. Oh yeah, and I'll need to obviously smack into the X-Wing. Just going to start, like, so I want this place to look good in that video. Like, it's going to be the biggest video that I make this year because I didn't do the Clone Army this year. And just due to the general size of my collection, there is no longer yearly collection videos. However, because this year I've been a bit more tame and I've not bought as many sets, I want to do a video called Everything I Bought in 2026. Because I know that video will be like 90% minifigures. So it has that advantage. Got these Star Wars The Phantom Menace movie cup topper things from when the movie released. Those are pretty cool. Found those at a Comic-Con event. Got some Star Wars related books. I've thought of a few ways to change up how all this looks. Got the Star Wars original VHS tapes and stuff there. Got a Pharaoh's Quest set. Now, unlike the set we're about to talk about, this will be staying a part of my display. It's going to temporarily have to sit up here. But the annoying thing is, right, there's a Lego Indiana Jones set sitting up on that shelf that I bought that is a bit incomplete. And because it's incomplete and I'd rather use that space for some other stuff, it is going to be taken apart and stored. I'm just trying to think of how I want to do it. One moment. I'm going to go and retrieve some of those resealable bags. Because that's basically the way to go with this kind of thing. And they're big. Right, so unfortunately I don't have any of the big ones. It's going to have to be these we use. As long as I can get most of it taken down. I'm keeping a certain section of the set built, but this is just going to be after how this works, because that space is just underutilized that way, and I don't like it. We have this set here from 2000. It's my oldest Lego Star Wars set. It's one of the old school minifig packs. That'll have to go there temporarily, which is fine. I don't mind. It'll get reincorporated in this most likely. But no, I bought this Lego Indiana Jones set and it was not as described and I couldn't get it sent back, so I thought I'll build it and see how it looks. Admittedly, I've kept it for the better part of, what, 7 or 8 months, but it's not looking that great on display, so I'm just going to take it off the display. Some Lego Pharaoh's Quest stuff in here as well. Lego Pharaoh, I'll put the minifigures I find over here just so they're there. Lego Pharaoh's Quest is a cool theme. Like, if you're going to get into a more recent, I say recent, it's a 15-year-old theme, but a theme from the last 20 years that kind of has a really unique vibe to it. Well, that's how I would describe the theme. That would be the theme I'd go for. I am currently hunting for a bunch of sets from that theme. On to bigger and better things. I do like this set. I do plan to either use this one for parts or buy the parts that are in it and maybe just buy a nicer copy. But there's like no denying I 110% got screwed with this. But like the eBay seller I bought this from, he had many other Lego listings. The store was like deleted or something. So, or he deleted the store or something like that, so I couldn't even get my money back on this purchase. Apparently, I did not realise that is a thing that eBay sellers could do. But there's no way I can put these big plate pieces in one of these bags, is there? What I'll do is I'll find some of the bigger bags at another point and just place all these small bags inside of it. Granted, it's all going to sit in those bags for quite a while, but you know. Let's see. Right. Get a few more pieces into this. In the set, you get a plane. That's staying built because it hangs from my ceiling. But that's what I'm saying. I'd rather use this space for my. I was going to say sealed sets. I have a couple of battle packs that are sealed from like 2010. That's all that's sealed up here. I used to have quite a bit more, but we've opened and built a lot of it via the streams. All those battle packs lying around since January. It's the 2 Hoth ones from 2010. So those are some pretty cool battle packs. So we're getting the set packed up, which is great. Benefit of the set, Bell End Technic, very easy to tack up. 2008 does have some cool sets. That's a bag sealed. That bag's being used for the bigger plates in the set. Right, get these small. Maybe I'd be smarter dismantling this on the bed, but screw it. It's the quicker way of getting this done. And with that, the set is gone. It's got these big plate bits to grab. So within the space of 4 bags, 3 bags actually, I'm quite happy with that. Most of what's up here, right, is physical media with the occasional thing that isn't, but like it's 90% just. I know we live in an era of where, you know, everything can be found digitally for the most part, but it's like, well, I like my physical media stuff, especially the whole thing with like some companies talking about stopping doing it. I'd rather physically own things. I know it's a very big debate right now in the gaming community. I've got these as well on the shelf. These are the battle packs. These are both brand new in the box from 2010, which I still remember seeing these on store shelves, but these, wow. These are now, you know what, in a couple of years, those sets are old enough to drink. That's crazy. I bought them back in January because they were a really good deal online and just haven't built them yet. There'll be someone saying don't open the sets because of how old they are, but they're not the type of battle packs that are worth much. Like, when it comes to buying sets sealed, those battle packs, it's the Clone Trooper ones that were always worth more money. You can buy most Rebel battle packs not far off their original retail sealed. Because here's the thing with the Rebel Battle Packs, unless you're going to build something like, take this for example, this one being the Hoth one. This is not really any good to you in numbers unless you're building a Hoth base, but Clone Troopers can be used in a universal way. Right. Right, let's get right into this. Just start tearing into it. Getting bits sorted, things moved. Lego Batman stand. Maybe I should separate from the Star Wars. Could I have that over here and it actually work or not? Move that there, Tim. Wow, that is a weird look. I've never had it laid out this way. I mean, Lego Batman is not the focal point of the display. The complete saga stand is that. Like, the main thing you look at when you look at this will always probably be this stand. So that's probably the bit you want more emphasis on. The stand has some design problems that we've recently been finding. So, I mean, I'm trying to avoid having to do the whole redesign the stand thing, but that might have to happen eventually. Just out of necessity. eBay is aggressively telling me about this PlayStation 4 that's for sale. Because I was out the other day and I saw a PlayStation 4 and it was the Batman one. I was like, I do kind of want that because I do want a PS4. So I'm into the kind of older games. And I was like, well, I had to stop myself. I was like, wait a minute. Is that a good idea to buy that? And to kind of try and convince myself not to, but I was like, you know what? I'll see how much they are on eBay, and what they're really good prices, especially with corner, even better. All right. Right. So we need to fix storage as well. I'm not going to take everything off at once. I'm focusing on this top shelf for now. So that's that fixed. Do I maybe have these up here? That would mean I don't have to take games off them for access, which was originally part of the plan. But we're damned, but that does look good. We'll stand back. I'll see how that looks. Obviously, I need to visualize there being minifigures in it, but what do we think? I think that looks good. Like I said, obviously there'll be minifigures inside of it. Now, I think next to it we'd have the two battle packs. But this is a slight pain to get these to stay on top of each other properly, but it does look good. Right, so I've got these Star Wars, these are the VHS tapes. Now, something I wanted to find, right? The way I experienced the movies as a kid was the non-special edition versions. What? No, she ran out when I was getting the food. She followed me. Sorry about that. The way that I saw the movies was the non-special editions. So, like, I saw specifically these ones here. These are the 1994, which I believe is one of the last years you could buy them non-production. These are the 1994 widescrreen cuts of the movies. So I kind of purchased these a while back. I do need to buy a new VHS. Yes, I will buy one of those in the big. Someone's going to comment VHS in the big 2026. Oh, 100%. Yes. That is it's a fun format to well enough to collect. It's got a big collector base. Love the sleeve, layer helmet there. That's looking great. Love it. Those kind of the books on that side, and we can have the cup toppers in different places. Oh man, this looks even better than it did before. Perfect. Gotta say, I'm loving how this is turning out. We can have the Padme one up here. No, wait, that's the original trilogy. You gotta have the Yoda one. Because I don't think I could have both of them up there like that. Or could I? I'll raise her arm up, I probably could. Alright, I can have both of them up. So I've got the Yoda and Padme on top of there, that is. That's looking great. Again, I cannot wait for the video to come out and be able to show this off up close, but hell yeah. Right. What my next move? Granted, that'll most likely to go after some of the things I got here. Right, now where is that box? So that's the box for the webcam that I use. That is the box for that Royal Guard. I say webcam, this was the whole thing I did on TikTok. TikTok actually weirdly enough paid for that. One of the first things I actually bought using money earned from social media. Have I misplaced that Royal Guard? No, it's under the ship over there. Right. I'll bring you guys closer. I'll let you see what we've done. Check this. So this is what I'm talking about. I've had to put a bit of card under that, but layer helmet, complete saga. We've got the two cases that we're adding. This will look great. Those are the sealed 2010 battle packs. Got the cup toppers on top of the VHS. Some of the books. It's an Easter set I got as a promo when I bought some things. We've got this all fixed out. Batman's got its own little corner. So now we're going to be taking out and organizing all of this stuff here. I do like how it looks. It's got an interesting look. I'd like to do some more stuff. Also, I've got to hang up this Padme action figure. It's the most recent kind of addition to that. the 90s Star Wars stuff is something I do occasionally go for. Alright, let's get that camera over and we'll flip it around. So I've done this previously where I've just thrown it all in the bed. I'm going to try my damnedest to avoid doing it that way. Plus, I do a thing. See, when I'm choosing what games I want to play, I do random. I'm going to start with the PlayStation 1 stuff. I do random number generator to help me decide. So I like changing up the order these are in every so often because that's how I pick. I random number generate what console I want to do based off the controllers in front of me, while I'm giving away that I'm on the Spectrum. And then what I do is I check how many games I have for that console, then random number generate that. PlayStation 1 has a lot of fun ones. This cup, there's a few things that I've been looking for in it, to be fair. The Fred minifigures in there, as is the Commander Gree action figure I have. In fact, I will be taking Gree out of here right now. That's getting added up here. I picked that up at a Comic-Con at one point. Hey there. No, thank you. I appreciate that. Right. Right. So the other console I've got a lot of stuff for is the PlayStation 2. This will end up being a big pile mess. You know what? It's unavoidable. I would have to clear other stuff in order to do it the way that I was in my head thinking of doing it. Something we're not going to throw down is the PSP that I have. That is being kept up here safe while we do this. That's a console I've recently been buying quite a lot of stuff for, is the PSP. Great console, loads of fun games on it. Got the controller for the Xbox One. I've got a few Xbox One controllers. Got my Xbox One games. Though then again, I've recently upgraded to a Series S that doesn't have any physical games. That whole thing is just, well, it's digital. I didn't buy it because it was digital. I just buy it because I wanted to play certain games, but I wasn't quite ready to spend the money, you know, to go up to the next console. See, this was something like I have always been into older games, but this year I've really went back into it and spent probably insanity amounts of money. But as time goes on, certain games become more valuable if new ones in the series come out. So some of these games I've not paid all that much for them, and now they're selling for a hell of a lot more than I paid. Right. Right, so that's all the video games off. Now, how should I choose to do this? Probably, I'll do it again by era, but that wasn't very well done before, so I'm going to be kind of redoing it. The movies and Blu-rays section. I'm debating if that should change. Because admittedly, I do like how that is. But I'm debating if it's acceptable enough for a room tour video. You know what I mean? Like, would I have it that way? Tell you what, why don't we do the minifigures that are going in those cases while I decide? So we'll start off with the top one, which will be the Star Wars one, because let's be honest, Star Wars will be the one that gets changed out more frequently. Oh, I'm marking it there. So there's a few figures that I have in mind for this case that I have in my collection. So things like TC-14 being one of the Chrome Star Wars figures. TC-14's going in there. They're not going to be in any particular order right now. This is just about getting some of these figures in the case, because I feel like this is a better place for them. So the next one we're going to throw in is a smooth hair Leia, which is one of those rare, very rare Leia variants. I've got a Chrome Stormtrooper from 2010. I've got the 2009 Chrome Vader to throw in there as well. Trank, what else do I have? Just it's what I have to my immediate proximity that would go in this. I'll be honest, there's not too many figures I can think of off the top of my head that will. The Cloud City ones, they're staying in Cloud City because that's a set that I feel should always have its figures with it. What have I got down here? See, it's that debate of which ones would look better if they stayed with their original sets versus which ones would be better being in this case. And obviously, like, a lot of these figures did come in sets, but they look kind of better. And I do have a Shadow Arc Trooper as well as other figures that can go in this and look good. So, I mean, I might just leave it just now. I'm not going to dig out the minifigures in today's stream. However, there is a minifigure there we will need the moment we do the Indiana Jones one. There we go. That looks perfect. Things like certain clone troopers will be going in here as well. Like, for example, my Shadow Arc Trooper has to go in here. The gold Chrome C-3PO that is up there will not go in here because it's part of the complete saga display. So if I take out that, I'd also have to change out the custom TC that's in there. So it's a whole thing I don't want to be doing, at least not right now. But we started it. You can see the vision with this. I'm just scanning the Clone Wars shelf, but I don't think any of the super viable Clone Wars figures are out apart from the Commanders. And I don't think I've not decided if they're coming off yet. Right. So we've got that case there with those in it. This case, however, this is for Lego Indiana Jones stuff, which is one of those Lego themes I do have a lot of love for. Unfortunately, it's not very well represented in the Lego display. I have this drawer here, which contains most of what I have, if not all of it. Because at one point, I was collecting all of these, and I got very far with it as well. But I was never quite able to finish it, so because I couldn't find certain figures for the longest time. So the newer stuff's going up the back because it's not as impressive to me. So I think I'm going to put a pile of villains and a pile of heroes and do either side. So villain, villain. Most of the minifigures that existed for this theme were just villains. Right. Satipo would be a villain. That is I have a couple of the modern indie minifigures. I have all of the modern minifigures from that. But I do also have like almost all of the retro ones. Like give or take a few. That's not even Lego. And there's a few figures in this drawer that granted aren't from Lego Indiana Jones. There we go. We got Shanghai Indy. That would be one of the ones to have at the front of the case. We've got Jock with his ridiculously sized. Will it fit in the case? Yes, it will fit in the case. Fishing knife. We have Marion. This will be more full than the Star Wars one, but that's purely because I have so many of the figures from this. Like as I was saying, at one point I got very busy looking for these. Can that rest against that? No. Right, okay. There, I don't know if I'll need that much room anyway. Okay, we should be fine. Villain. Villain. Is there any good people in these movies? Right. So we're going to do villains up the back and heroes up the front. So a couple of the many Belloc variations that Lego keep giving, or kept giving. I feel like they did quite a few versions of him, or maybe I just have, I've got multiple. Right, okay. Don't mind me, I'm just being stupid. Right. Yeah, because he's not meant to have a hat that matches directly. Yeah, no. All right, we're fine. Right, we've got a whole bunch of the German minifigures here because I've got pretty much. As I'm saying, it surprises me that I never actually went and completed this collection. Just looking at what I've got here. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things that does kind of shock me slightly, as I thought that I would have. These were not, see, when I was doing this, these figures, apart from a couple, I'd imagine, like, if I was to look now, I'd probably be horrified at what the prices are, but when I was doing this, a lot of the figures were still, like, ridiculously cheap to find. But apparently your hat doesn't exist. There's a few, I have all the parts to these. I just have to, well, I have to look for some of them. Right, there's a few, yeah, there's some like minifigure hat pieces that I need to get a hold of. But other than that, like, this is an almost complete collection. Just accept those minor flaws. Right, okay. We'll have Satipo there, because he's a villain. Mola Ram in there as well. We'll have the Russians. Plenty of those in these movies. Right. Actually, no. Before you have the Russians, I'm going to have Elsa. Yes, Elsa from The Last Crusade. But yeah, no, I now know where my Indiana Jones minifigures are for when I decide it's time to come back and properly fix this out. There's Irina Spalko. It's been so long since I've seen all these figures like not in a drawer. But I'll admit, like, I cancelled the project that was this for something else. I'm pretty much wrong about that was the reason. But yeah, like I said, I'll probably have to spend a while going through some tubs to find some minifig parts. But other than that, wow, does this look cool to see again? These are the more modern ones, gonna slide in them gaps. That, all right, that works. Like, I need to find the turban piece for the Cairo swordsman. That would be an example of one I need to look for the pot. Again, they're in my collection. I just need to look for it. Well, I'm hoping that it's in my collection. Oh, no, that's going to break that. Why will you not stick to those studs? What's wrong with you? Probably the most money I spent on any minifigure for this series was most likely trying who that would have been. It was most likely would have been the I had to have been Molaram. I spent like 30 so I could get a Molaram minifigure. So, despite the fact that I am going to have to spend some time looking for some parts, I'm quite happy with this. Now, do I have an Indiana Jones, an original 08 one to put in there? Because I should have two. No, that's just Satipo and Belloc. I should have another one of those OG indies somewhere in my collection, so I will just have to look for that. So he's probably like the only minifigure that's missing completely that I can think of. That the front row of figures in this will exclusively be like the original 08 ones. Just as a little homage to that, because one of my favourite Lego lineups. Like, I might not like certain characters that they brought out because the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is a movie that I have a weird relationship with. I don't like it that much, but it's, you know what I mean? It's one of those movies that got redeemed well enough. That was my thought. See, when I come out the cinema from seeing Dial of Destiny, my main thought was, wow, they have somehow managed to redeem one of the worst movies that I've ever seen. There's other minifigures. I didn't realize I had a Mr. Freeze in here from like more recent Lego Batman. I've kind of surprised myself at what I've found in here. Right, got a couple indie variants to go here. Don't know if I'll add to the Indiana Jones collection anytime soon, but maybe having this case will motivate me to do it. I'm curious though, like, I think there's 60 minifigures from Lego Indiana Jones? I wonder if all of them would fit in this case. Probably not, because this is a tight squeeze of just the ones that I have. I'm trying to figure out why I have so many versions of Indy's dad though. One will be the modern one, update one from a couple years ago, and I'm trying to figure out I think he has a I could be wrong, but I'm sure he has like variations of the color of his Lego hat. I think that actually might be it. Right, well that's all the minifigures in the case. That looks cool. Apart from the fact that I'm going to have to go through my parts thing to find certain minifigure pieces, that is like... The Star Wars one will eventually look that cool. So then I have things like the Shadow Earth Trooper, among other minifigures that I will have to dig through to put in there. Some of the figures that really should go on there are, granted, some of the rare ones that were used as game renders are on here, so maybe that's something I'll have to deal with at some point. Right, so like I said, I'm going to spend some time digging through some drawers to find the rest of this stuff, but because, you know, there is other Lego themes and stuff in here, but I have multiple of those drawers, so, you know, it'll just require a really long and really thorough look for it to get all those things. Right. I'm going to go back to organising them by what console they are, starting by year. Oh, so you know, it starts with PS1. We're just going to try and race to get this done at this point. What can I store in that gap? That's actually a good question. You know, try to use gaps efficiently. In fact, we'll have to pull the Xbox One stuff there. This will look very similar to how it did before, but the games will be more randomized, so it'll make this more fun for me. Xbox One / Series X stuff, however you want to say it, will be going at the end because that's the most modern generation that's here. There's a big pile of 360 games. We're going to have to have 5 lines of games for that. I have an ungodly amount of Xbox 360 games. But you know something? Worth every penny. I've got a lot of joy out of these. Right, we've got PSP there. Start hammering into this. So then most of the stuff here is from the Xbox 360. I do want to buy a PS3 at some point, so I'll try to hold off on buying another console just because I know what I'm going to have to do logistically with all this. I do like the way that the DVDs, Blu-rays, and stuff look, so I am gonna keep how that is. I'm happy to do that. And I just like it just looks that way organically because of how I've had to put things on it. So I just like how that it turned out. I'll put the PSP stuff there. I think the game that's in my 360 right now is probably the Complete Saga, because me and Terra Killer T1, some of you will know who that is, have been trying to get the last achievement in it, but we had to do like we're currently working on the whole super story part of it. That's PS2 stuff. See, this is the one thing that you won't be able to enjoy if, in years to come, when all this whole nonsense about, oh, we're going to try and stop doing physical discs. I don't know, like, what's going on with that, but I prefer this. I don't know, there's something nice about owning it physically. Like, yes, if I was one of these people who was to get right into the digital thing, I'd have a huge digital library, I'd have a lot more space, and you could argue, also on my Lego channel, primarily, you could argue this would be great, space for some Lego, which, hey, I have some cool Legos in this space, don't get me wrong, but I have thought about it once or twice, but like, no, some of these games aren't available on the Xbox Store, which, is kind of part of the appeal of continuing to do this. Yeah, I kind of knew there'd have to be a fifth stack of games. And you know what? Granted, on my most recent outing, I did not pick up any Xbox 360 games. I was able to kind of fight off the urge. There was a few that I saw, but I've got Prison Break and stuff. But it's like, I'm to the point where most of the games I would be after are the more pricey games that cost crazy amounts of money. So that's the only reason I haven't went after those ones yet. Call it a matter of intelligence or whatever, but I've kind of had that moment like, no, we need to stop going nuts with money now. How many more 360 games need to go up? I am looking at this and going, the Xbox One games have offset this, and that's not working. Because too many of these piles, or towers rather, now line up directly with the arms of the shelf. So I'm going to have to make, it's not very space efficient. The other reason I've not been picking up as many Xbox 360 games as I would normally would. This would be solved by moving the Xbox One games, which I'm slightly tempted to do. It would ruin what I've got going on here, but then again, do I really use Xbox One games enough to justify them being out like this? Does this even look alright? If I was to do it this way. Not so much. The Xbox One games can move. You know what, if it worked already, why ruin it? This means there's one space, granted, where it runs into trouble, but that's where I can keep the controller. Xbox One games, I don't have a lot. How many do I have? It's not a console that I have ever felt like the desire to go buy a lot for. So, no, they can't go there. That doesn't make sense. Move the Dark Knight trilogy out of the way. See, I want to incorporate that. This is the thing. I wanted to have it by generation, but this kind of stops it working. Could I have it up here and make it work? Actually, I weirdly can. I was not expecting that to work out so well. What the hell? That actually works out really well. And you know, granted, maybe no, I can still remove those box sets without it falling over. Alright, the Dark Knight and the right box get to go back where they were. That is some problem solving. Right, let's just get right back into this because I don't mind doing a long stream, but it has to make sense. I don't want to be in the ill-prepared way that I'm, you know, still doing it this way in a few hours' time. PlayStation 2, loads of brilliant games. It's a console, see, even just for a couple of quid, it's a console you cannot get bored of. Games-wise, absolutely brilliant that way. And loads of those same games are available on the PSP, so that makes it even cooler. PlayStation 1, one of the best games on that console, Star Wars Dark Forces. It's a game that I've put a lot of time into. And of course, I'm going to have a majority of the Star Wars games on these consoles. I don't think that would surprise anybody watching. Oh, and I had an inch away from being perfect. PlayStation 1 stuff there. PlayStation 1, again, I don't buy a lot of stuff for that, but I do have a few things I have went and bought for it. There's some pretty good games there. Something that has been requested by viewers is an in-depth video on my game collection, what I have, what I don't have, what's what, why I buy some of the things I buy. Because to those of you, right, the people who are a bit younger, right, who are like, I have viewers who are the same age as like the Xbox One and PS4 who have saw the collection that I game on, and it's funny watching them comprehend it. Because usually their action is, yeah, but why would you choose to do that when there's modern consoles? There's a lot of fun you can have with all the older stuff. And I believe I've actually opened up space to have a new category of stuff. So if I do go ahead and buy that PS3 like I've been thinking about, there's no space for a PS3. Granted, this stuff I would break my buy era rule just for that. But yeah, that's a whole thing in of itself. PSP, just gonna fix that. 360 controller can sit on top of Skyrim. That's the tripod that I film the regular videos with, that can go there. That's my TV remote, I need that for later on. model of a Mark 1 Focus RS Rally car. That's going to go under the B-Wing's wing. That's where I like to have that. The display is looking great. This has been one of those nights where we've really got the work in on things. And it does show quite a bit. I'm happy that, apart from that corner, it's obviously not changed, but I've kind of come to the conclusion that I don't feel the need for it to be changed, so what's for me? And until I decide to be nuts and buy another system, PS2 games I'm going to stretch to 3 stacks. Does it need that many? Nope. But I can't really have the PS1 games work around that, so yeah. It's a temporary thing that works. And that cup can go back in there that I use for storage. That is a PS2 game. These are the various bags of parts from that indie set that we dismantled. They're going to go there. But we are starting to wind down. We are an hour and 60 minutes. Well, can't say I didn't provide tonight. Getting controllers and stuff up here. People were asking me in the previous one where the hell the PS2 is. I keep it in a cabinet because I'm not able to have it hooked up all the time. And it doesn't get used as much as some consoles in my collection do, so there's that. Yeah, I have literally mentioned in the stream that I'm thinking about buying myself a PS3. See, the reason I'd buy a PS3 while owning a 360 is there's some games from that era that were on both consoles, but they are cheaper to have on the PS3 for some reason. I don't mean like difference as in a couple quid, like as in the differences could be like by 10 or 15 quid differences on certain games. And yes, I would be interested to do it that way. But let me show you where we're at. Granted, couple things that I've had to leave on there we'll fix. I'm actually going to move this. This gets to go up. This is the Portal thing that came out in 2008 as part of that Toy Fair thing. So that can go there. You know, turn it around, you get an Indiana Jones. And no, I won't put it in there with the rest of these. But apart from the fact that I'm now going to be didn't quite feel that I had to when they were in the drawer, but there's a few figures I'm going to have to dig out. As well as some that need parts. Star Wars one's quite bare, but trust me, the figures in there alone are worth probably more than all these put together. In fact, that's such a good question. I don't know if there, but we've got Cup Toppers, Lego Batman, TCS. We've got, this is where I put the Xbox One games, by the way, but it's looking great. Also, if I had to stretch this out, I could realistically have that in there. So, you know, potential PS3 stuff. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you all for joining. We've got some major stuff done tonight. Very happy. It's weird seeing it look different. This, by the way, is a little problem. There we go. We have it sitting the way that it should do. But no, that looks much better. So I will see you guys tomorrow for another stream. Thank you very much for watching.